You ever have that chill poolside moment shattered by the sudden realization that you haven't checked your blood pressure after that third margarita? No? Just me? Yeah, well, in this video I'm gonna show you everything you want to know about the BP Doctor Fit. This wearable claims to be the ultimate on-the-go health companion, merging blood pressure monitoring with fitness tracking. But can it truly ditch the doctor's visit and the arm squeeze? We'll go through and test all its main features from functionality to accuracy to see who it's actually designed for. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's crack open this box and see what YHE has packed inside. So we got a sleek black box with the YHE logo front. Nothing too crazy, but minimalism gets a thumbs up from me. Crack it open and there's the watch nestled snugly in its cardboard tray. Gotta say, for a blood pressure monitor watch, it doesn't look half bad. Actually, it looks pretty sleek. But wait, there's more. We got a USB charging cable hiding underneath. Actually, it's a magnetic cradle with 2 pins, which is pretty nifty. Oh, and a whole stack of manuals for the Smart Blood Pressure Watch S7. Look, throughout this review, we're gonna call it the Doctor Fit, alright? Makes things easier for everyone. They even threw in a wrist diameter tape to ensure a perfect fit. That's all you need to get started. Hold up, there's one more thing. A personalized thank you card with a little piece of the watch on it. Now that's a cool touch. You don't see that very often these days. Gotta give YHE props for that. Alright, enough chit chat. Let's get a closer look at this BP Doctor Fit and see if the features live up to the initial impression. A health tracker shouldn't look like it escaped from a hospital, right? Thankfully, the Doctor Fit strikes a balance between stylish and comfy. It's lightweight, seriously, this thing only weighs 78 grams and it's sleek enough to wear all day without feeling like you're rocking a wrist brick. Now, the key difference here is the built-in cuff. Think of it like a permanent inflatable hook for your wrist. That means the strap is nice and wide, way wider than your average smartwatch band, like way wider. Think more Withings ScanWatch 2 on steroids. Just something to consider if you have skinny wrists or prefer a more minimalistic look. But here's the good news. Despite the wider strap, the Doctor Fit is surprisingly comfy. The silicone material is super soft and flexible, not that cheap rubbery kind. Plus, the inflating cuff has a built-in pad for extra comfort. The watch is not waterproof. Since it has built-in air valves for the inflatable cuff, dunking, showering or swimming with it isn't a good idea. Finally, let's take a peek at the controls. There are 2 buttons on the right side for navigating the watch, and on the back you've got the usual PPG heart rate sensor and charging pins that connects to the magnetic cradle. Battery life details coming up later. Powering on the Doctor Fit is simple. Long press the top button and bam! YHE logo graces the display. Setting it up is a breeze. Pick your language, grab your phone and download the companion app called BP Doctor, either by scanning the QR code in the manual or on the watch itself, or just searching for BP Doctor in the App Store. Heads up, you can't operate the watch without this app. Think of it as a control center for everything, setting up your profile, age, weight, etc, syncing time and preferences and storing all your health data for analysis and fancy reports. The app itself is no frills, but it gets the job done. Easy to navigate with instruction on how to wear the watch for accurate readings. There's even a troubleshooting section for those inevitable oh moments. Gotta give him props for that. The app works on both Android and iPhone, so no platform gets left out in the cold. The Doctor Fit rocks a 1.9-inch AMOLED screen, basically fancy tech jargon for super crisp colors without sucking the battery dry. This thing is bright enough to see even on a sunny day thanks to its 450 nits of brightness. Now, controls and the app. This watch doesn't run the fancy Wear OS you might be used to. It's got its own thing going on. That means no downloading extra apps for blasting your favorite tunes directly from your wrist. But hey, it's a health tracker, not a mini smartphone strapped to your arm. Navigating the menus is a breeze. It works with both buttons and touchscreen. Swiping down from the top gets you to settings like brightness and screen lock. Swiping up shows notifications from your phone, text, calls, the usual suspects. But don't get too excited, you can't reply to the text or answer calls. You can just see them and delete them if they're annoying. Swiping right gives you the good stuff: blood pressure measuring, daily activity stats, heart rate, weather, sleep tracking, basically a health data dashboard at your fingertips. Super handy and easy to use. Overall, the user interface is simple and the app is user-friendly. No need to be a tech whiz to figure this out. But remember, this is a health tracker first and foremost, not a full-blown smartwatch with all the bells and whistles. Alright, let's be real. Keeping tabs on your blood pressure is important, but who wants to spend a small fortune on a fancy doctor watch? I put it head to head with a medical grade Omron monitor, the one my doctor uses for the reason. First round, the Omron says 133 systolic and 84 diastolic. Dr. Fit's turn. Taking measurement is easy, just tell the watch to go and the strap inflates for a minute. Feels a little weird, but hey, no pain no gain for those health goals. Now, to get a good picture, I will do a few readings in a row. First blood pressure check with the watch came in at 121 systolic and 81 diastolic, not exactly matching the Omron. Hold up, let's not panic. Even fancy devices can have slight variation between the readings. That's why it's a good practice to take a couple and average them. And bam, 120 systolic and 81 diastolic, nearly identical to the previous one. Feeling good. I will do a few more readings, one after another, then we'll go back to the trusty Omron. Remember, proper fit is key for accurate readings. Think an inch below your palm and snug but comfy. The cuff inflates, it takes a minute, then displays your systolic and diastolic pressure along with your heart rate. Alright, Omron says 123 systolic and 80 diastolic, pretty close to the Dr. Fit. Even though the first Omron reading was a bit higher, the watch's measurements were super consistent. Score 1 for the underdog. We checked blood pressure, but how's the heart rate tracking? I threw a fingertip pulse oximeter in the mix for real-time readings. Both devices started at 67 beats per minute. Now, dipped slightly. The watch stopped at 62 beats per minute, while the oximeter lingered at 61 beats per minute, close enough to me. Overall, the Dr. Fit seems pretty accurate, but before we start celebrating with the confetti cannons, a disclaimer: this watch isn't FDA approved yet, meaning it hasn't gone through all the medical device hoops. YHE is working on it though. Alright, so the blood pressure tracking seems legit. Well, this thing also tracks basic fitness stuff. No fancy built-in GPS, but it counts steps, burnt calories, virtually of course, and tracks walks and runs. Now, step counting is a personal crusade of mine, so I grabbed my trusty clicker counter, yeah, it's old school tally counter, and put the Dr. Fit speedometer to the test. Walked a cool 1,000 steps, threw in some fancy footwork to confuse the watch, because why not? Back to the watch to see how many steps it counted compared to my manual tally. First try, it showed 990 steps, not bad at all. Let's do it again, just to be sure it wasn't a fluke. Second try, 997 steps. The average is to 993.5 steps, which translates to a sweet 99.4% accuracy rating. Pretty impressive, especially considering the other features packed in here. That's close to the fancy pants TicWatch I reviewed a few weeks back. Now, the automatic exercise recognition, let's just say it has a very optimistic view of my walking speed. Every brisk walk turns into marathon according to this thing, so yeah, I just turned that feature off. The watch tracks your sleep too, but it's accurate. Compared to how I feel, the Dr. Fit seemed to skimp a bit on my sleep time. One night, I know for a fact, I crashed for nearly 7 hours, but the watch only counted 5. So, is it perfect? No, but for a basic idea of your sleep patterns, it's not bad. YHE claims the BP Doctor Fit can last a whole week on a single charge thanks to its beefy battery. In my experience, that's true for light use. Think casual steps and glances, not constant blood pressure checks. I got closer to 4 days on heavy use. Still not bad, considering that an inflatable cough needs some serious juice to pump up. Plus, the battery lasts over twice as long as the older models, which were basically 2 days wonders with constant blood pressure checks. Big improvements. The 300 mAh battery charges surprisingly fast, going from 0 to 100% in just 45 minutes. Alright, verdict time. The watch definitely stands out because it packs a real air-cuffed blood pressure monitor, the same tech your doctor uses, and delivers impressive accuracy. At around $129 US, it's a good deal, coming in way cheaper than its predecessors, the Dr. Med and Dr. Pro. That earns it a solid 7 out of 10. However, the BP Doctor Fit isn't perfect. The air cuff makes it a bit delicate for daily wear, especially for active users. And a bit of a drawback, it's not water resistant. This might be not a deal breaker for everyone, but it's definitely a factor to consider. Now, if you're over 40 like me and keeping tabs on your blood pressure is a priority, this watch could be a game changer. Just remember, it's not a replacement for a doctor's diagnosis. If you're looking to snag one, it's supposed to launch on Indiegogo sometime in July 2024. As for Amazon, I'll be on the lookout and update the video description with those links once it hits the shelves. Don't forget to smash that notification bell to stay in the loop. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.